This is your girl, Mama Hilt. Today I'm going to be doing my son's highlights. He wants his tips dyed blonde. This is my first time doing this. I got some advice from my friend because she's always dyeing her hair. He's going to be 13 this week, so I figured, hey, it's kind of a good, little, what you want to say, something different for him to bring in his 13-year birthday. He's been doing good in school. He's an exceptional kid, so I say, hey, why not? We're just doing the tips. You're not going to do the whole hair or not too much. The product I am using is BW2, the powder. My volumer is a 40 maximum lift. I got this from my local beauty supply store. This is probably, I think it was like 99 cents. This is like $3 for a big bottle. You can get a smaller bottle. I just bought the big bottle just in case because the smaller bottle was only like $1.50. Then the bigger bottle was $2.99. So I was like, hey, I can always have it. I got my mixing bowl. And I also have my latex gloves. And I thought I have a, and I also have a little fork so I can stir it up. And I also have the foil papers to put on it once I put the dye at the tips, and then I wrap it and let it sit for a while. Okay, so I'll be back. Ready to mix. This is the powder I have on my gloves. Mind you, I've never done this before, so don't judge me. I got my mixing bowl. This was only like $2, and it comes with the little dye brush that you put it on. So alright, so I'm gonna pour my powder, the whole thing of contents. Close that up. You just throw it in here, the trash. Now, my volumizer, the maximum lift, this is 40. I think this might be the max one. I'm going to pour some in and just try to, measure it out. It say, I think, like 1.5 ounces. If you got a measuring cup, you can measure it, but I'm just going to do it by error. Pour a little bit and stir. It's kind of thick. Let me just see how much that do. I'm going to take this and mix it up. It's supposed to be like a creamy consistency.
Yeah.
So already you can tell it looks like I need a little bit more. I'm just going to stir and mix. I don't think I need a lot because I'm just doing the tips. It ain't like I'm dyeing his whole hair. So I'm estimating or guesstimating that this should be all I need is one of those packs. I got 2 packs. You hear baby Katana in the background. I'm holding her.
Say hey, Tana.
That smells like perm. I guess you're supposed to do, I don't know if y'all remember science class back in the day, but they used to tell us to do like this to chemicals instead of breathing it directly. You bring the smell to you, but it smells like perm.
Ooh, it do smell like perm.
So I think I did a pretty good estimate of how much to pour in. Once again, the back of the pack says 1.5 ounces of the volumizer into 1 pack of the coloring powder. But I just poured by error. Guesstimated how much. If you want to sit there and measure, you can. To each his own. Alright. So that looks pretty good, which I think. It's not too wet. Just the right thingamajigger. Okay. So, now I'm going to prep my son up and then we'll be back.
Stop.
Alright, so you got that. Okay, so we're back. Over here. Hey girl, hey, watch out. Alright, so I got my little foil. And this is his tips on to prep it because he told me how far he wants it. We put rubber bands at the tips of how far we want to put the bleaching agent on. So I did that. His hair is dry. I think it works better on dry hair. So we just put the rubber bands on all around to section it off, so we already had that part done. He has a lot of new growth. I haven't retwisted his hair probably all summer since his 5th grade. No, did I do it at all 6th grade? I think since the beginning of last school year.
Yeah, beginning of last school year.
Yeah, because he doesn't really like the grease and stuff, but so he was just free balling, but they still grew nicely. But okay, here we go. So I put a little bit on the brush. I put the foil under here. I don't even know if I have enough foil. Maybe, maybe not. But I just put that right there, and I take my brush and I just apply it. Can somebody give me a time? What time are we putting this on? Can you tell me the time? Diane, somebody? You're not doing nothing?
150.
Oh, 150. So it's 150.
150.
So I'm just smoothing it on. Each one. I don't know if it's better to use my hands or use this brush. But I'm going to just use the brush for now. Until I get frustrated and be like, the hell with it and just use my hand. But okay, so I'm trying to get it on each dread, all in between. And I think that should be, I think we've got a little bit more. Let me put this closer. Let me put this over here. Yeah.
That's so bleaching. Bless you. Thank you.
Bless you.
It's good, Mama.
Should be, yeah.
She didn't pause it. She stopped the video to make a new video.
You'll put it together. Alright, so the foil isn't as big as it should be, but it should be enough for now. And I just fold it up like that. And I'm going to go to the next one. And just do the same thing on each one that I got sectioned. Girl, be careful now. You're doing a little bit too much. So if you guys are good to this, I know I've seen a lot where they say, oh, don't dye hair, don't bleach your dreads, don't do this. It does this and it does that. Well, we're just going to try to continue to keep his hair moisturized. And once again, it's only the tips. I'm not nowhere near the root of his hair, the scalp, or it's not the whole dread. It's just the tips. So, just trying to present a different look for him to start his 13 years of life off, which is a blessing these days. It's such a blessing to be able to wake up every day and see life. So I got all that saturated, so I'm going to do the same thing. This one is kind of thicker, so I don't know if this foil is going to cover the whole head. Uh-oh. My baby in here demolishing stuff. So I just put another piece on top to solve that problem. Alright, so we're going to go to the next one.
It have been 4 minutes and 28 seconds.
Alright, so y'all kind of get the drift of what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them. And we'll be back after I finish the last one off. Alright. So I'm down to the last one. It probably took about 10 to 15 minutes for me to get it all around. Like I said, this is my first time, so I didn't go super fast. But as you can see, some of them already start to turn nice and blonde. The color that he wanted, the bleaching. I'll probably let this sit on his hair for maybe 5 more minutes when I see the rest of them turning. And we'll wash them all out, okay?
Like it.
So I'm going to take my gloves off. When you wash the tips out. I'm probably going to leave the rubber bands in while I'm washing the ends out. You have to get you a neutralizing shampoo. This is just a brand that I use. It might be different other brands, but the neutralizing shampoo stops the coloring process once you start washing the dye out, the bleaching agent out. Make sure it's neutralizing shampoo. I got this from local beauty supply store. It probably was like $2 too, about $2. Everything I bought today probably was under 10 bucks. I'm assuming, yeah, about under 10 bucks to do for just the tips of his dreads. And as you can see, I used the whole bowl for his tips, and that was just off of one pack. One of the little small packs. Okay? So we're going to get ready to wash soon, and we'll be back. Alright, so we're going to start some of the front ones. Oh, them looks about ready. Okay, let's start it. So, bring your head under. Just going to rinse out.
Ooh, I like that color.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good. Back. I'm gonna let this sit longer on this side. You get the logistics of what I'm doing, and we'll be back once everything is washed and done. Alright guys, so we're back, and as you can see, his tips are all dyed all over. Some may be a little bit lighter than others, but it's okay. Can't really tell. Once you get in real sunlight, you'll be able to tell the difference. So he's a Leo. He got his real lion mane going on here. And now we're just gonna straighten, twist it out. Twist this new growth. We just washed it completely. I also deep conditioned it with a product called hair mayonnaise. And I let it sit on his hair for about 10-15 minutes under a cap, what you call it, shower cap. I didn't put any heat to it. I just let it sit while he was just walking around and doing whatever. So I didn't sit him on like no dryer or put no heat to it. But his hair is real soft now, moisturized. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see in the mirror. My mirror's kind of dirty, but all over. So yeah, looks good. Alright guys, so we'll be back probably. I'll show you whatever we do after we retwist it so you can really see the length that he has accomplished from a year of not retwisting. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Deuces.